So how are large language models trained, right? So now we have looked at the prediction, the inference part. We look at the architecture, the inner working of large language models. And now let's take a look at how are they trained. So to train these models, we use a large amount of data, and quite a few of you have taken deep learning, and you know that labeling the data is very hard. It's very, very expensive. So the breakthrough in this one, in large language model, is that they use this so-called semi-supervised learning. So instead of labeling the data using human, they just use the text they connected from the internet. So here is how semi-supervised learning works. So you you take a text from the internet. My favorite food is a bagel with cream cheese. And then you take away some of the words from the sentence. Say, you start with my favorite food is what? And ask the model to predict bagel. And if it hits bagel, it's correct. If it doesn't, it's not for this sentence, right? So similarly, you can do it also in the auto-regressive way. My favorite food is a bagel with. My favorite food is a bagel with cream, right? So now one sentence, you can use it multiple times in the training. So they use the existing text from the internet as kind of the ground truth to train these models. So so here is a more detailed illustration, right? The large language models learn to predict one word at a time. So LLMs will predict, learn, and the large language model cannot access anything beyond this, like this word. So it only knows the previous one, but doesn't have any knowledge about the future ones in the training process. Then we move on, right? LLMs learn too to predict the next word, the next word, the next word, the next. So use this process to do the training. So this semi-supervised learning has been there maybe for 10 years now. So the mechanism is out there for quite long time, even before the transformers architecture. So what's the difference? The difference here is really the size. So what people did was they are trained on a very large AI system with a lot of parameters on a lot of data, trillions of tokens, right? So here is a figure which will appear again sometime later in this class. But here is GPT-3, which has 170 billion parameters, right? So that's in 2020. And when ChatGPT was released in late 2022, we have GPT 3.5 and then GPT-4, right? GPT-4, it was estimated it had 1.8 trillion parameters. So that's a lot of parameters. And of course, later we have smaller models that has better data. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But what really made the difference was the size of the data and the size of these models. And people found that after a certain threshold, after you pass certain threshold of data and the parameter size, some capabilities like reasoning will emerge after like you increase the data or the model size to a certain scale. So